Hi, good evening, everyone. So, welcome to another live session. I'm just gonna wait for more followers to join in and then we can start the session. So, how's everybody doing this Friday evening? I hope you're all well and safe. All right. So today's live session, we're going to be talking to a super special and incredible lady. She's none other than Hita Prem. She is the founder of NYW Hair, which is one of India's most affordable hair extension company. And she is also a multiple sclerosis survivor. And her story is super inspirational. We're going to get to know her and her journey. And hopefully, you'll all leave this session feeling super inspired. So I'm going to quickly let her in. Hi, Shimakshi. Hi, good evening, Hita.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
All good, all good. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity
Thank you for doing this with
to.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, this is Hita, founder of NYW Hair. I have a bunch of questions for her, and once I'm done with my questions, you all can drop in your questions in the comment section below, and probably Hita can answer them for you. So, shall we get started?
Yes, please.
All right. So we all know your story is super incredible and super inspirational. Um, and I'd love our audience to know about it as well. Please go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Well, I've said this story a lot of times before, in a lot of forms as blogs, as content, and I feel like each time I say this story, I discover like a new part of me, a new part of how how what I went through when I went through. So basically, it starts with at the age of 19. I woke up one day and I was partially blind in my left eye. And I remember panic being struck at home, right? So, because it was a perfectly normal night, everything was perfectly fine. But I woke up partially blind in the left eye. So it puts you in a weird state of mind when there is no warning whatsoever. There were no symptoms. It was just all of a sudden. And I remember we went to the doctor. We got our we got when we went to the ophthalmologist. We They gave me prescription glasses. I remember my dad being furious. He's like, my my daughter's gone blind in the left eye. She doesn't need glasses. She has glasses, right? So that's what put me into that's what put a lot of things into perspective. Like, you know, um, why is it something wrong with me? Do doctors not know what's wrong with me? Am I forever going to be this way? Then a few weeks down the lane, we took a few MRIs, a few scans and blood work and all that, and our family neurologist. So my grandmom is a survivor of cancer twice. Second time was in the brain. So we knew a neurologist. We spoke to him and he suspected multiple sclerosis. Now, the worst thing you can ever do is Google your symptoms. And my parents did that all night. They just kept Googling their symptoms. And I remember panic struck. And yeah, I mean, I think I was writing my finals. I was writing my finals of engineering that day. And that's when they told me, yes, you have multiple sclerosis. And that's where my journey basically began. I mean, it was more of a relief to know that I now know what's wrong with me, because up until then they were just treating symptoms. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful they caught it when they caught it, because there were people who have MS, but you know doctors were not able to pinpoint it, and they lost completely permanent eye loss or eyesight, or permanent loss of motor functions and all that. So I'm glad that I was caught at the right time, and I've been on medications ever since. And it was not even MS that put me down. It was not. It was not even the fact that I have this disease that could possibly paralyze me for the rest of my life. It was the fact that the medications that I got through it caused a lot of hair loss. Caused a lot of hair loss. I started losing way too much hair than I could comprehend, and I was still in college. Where you know what I'm talking about. It's college, right? You can't walk around, or you couldn't basically. All the questions and the stares. So that led me to it. It was a journey of the journey to self love was a huge long journey, and I'm still learning to love myself every day. But that's pretty much my story, and I decided, you know what, I'll start. I discovered hair extensions, and I thought, you know what, this is revolutionary because I had to go abroad. I learned about this abroad, not in India. So I thought, you know what, let me just bring this over. There's already a lot of people doing it, but I'm sure nobody's doing it the way I do because I'm doing it the way I do it is I share my own story. I'm more relatable. Women with hair loss like to come and talk to me because they don't feel judged, and it's a safe space for women with hair loss. So yeah, that's my story, man.
That's super incredible. So yeah, today you're a hair positive activist, and of course you've come a long way, and your journey has had its ups and downs. But initially when you started to lose your hair, how did you cope with that? Did you have any specific things that you did on your bad days that helped you basically cope with all the mental trauma that it comes with?
Right. Yes, see, hair loss was the most visible thing that people could see on me. But what they didn't see was the fact that I suffered from depression, still do suffer from depression and anxiety. It caused a lot of social phobia for me. I couldn't go out with my friends. I couldn't step out, family gatherings. And there are good days, there are bad days, mentally and physically. People with MS, you go from 0 to 100 in a day, right? Um, I remember one day, again, perfectly normal night, fell asleep, woke up, and the whole room was spinning. And again, I had no reason why the whole room was spinning. And I tried calling my mom. I think she was sleeping. She didn't hear the ringtone. I remember dragging, and I'm a pretty heavy girl, so I had to drag my weight up the stairs because I couldn't walk. My legs were working, the whole room was spinning. Dragged myself on top, and then I like slumped over the bed, and I remember it was panic. It was vertigo basically, and it gave me no warning. I had no warning. It comes every now and then. They're called episodes with multiple sclerosis. So when an episode comes, I'll never know. But there is one thing I keep telling myself, which is make the most of the good days. Ever since then, when I have a day where I'm feeling healthy, when I'm feeling good, I'm like, for example, it's like when you have a cold and you're like, man, I miss the days where my nose could breathe properly. Yeah, that's the same I had with my with MS as well. I'm like, when I have an episode and when I'm done for on the bed, just lying there, I'm like, shit, I did not do enough on the days where I could just walk or just, feel normal again. So the motto I keep, the thing I keep telling myself, or my motto is, um, make most of the good days. You'll never know when the bad days come. Bad days come, bad days go. Bad days are important, very important. But, sorry. Yeah. Bad days come, bad days go. They're very important, but please make most of whatever time you have. And that comes with family, that comes with yourself, that comes with everything.
Absolutely. I think that's something all of us should make a motto in our lives because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? Um, Absolutely. So now tell us a little bit about NYW Hair. How did you start the venture? Did you have a business model in place? What was the whole process like?
So you won't believe it, but even the name NYW hair was just very random. I still try to figure out what does NYW stand for. And it's just I woke up one day and I decided, you know what, let me just give it a try. Maximum what's gonna happen, I'll fail, right? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? So I gave it a shot. I saved up from my job, saved up a bit of money from my job, and I bought a few products, created a website. So I'm a digital marketer, so I all that comes easily to me. So I made a website, did everything, tested the market for 1 month. I got 2 orders. Second month, I got 6 orders. Third month, I got 20 orders. And then I'm like, wait a minute, something's happening here, right? And and it just picked up from there, and then it just picked up from there. Like now, I'd like to say NYW stands for New You with Hair. So it's still you. You're not faking it. You're not being of. You're not. Tend to judge people who have who put on makeup, women who put on makeup. People judge women who want to dress a certain way, women who make these choices for themselves. And it's always I'm not gonna lie, I did have comments on my posts that said, you know how are you there was a video where I was putting a topper on, and this one uh, lady, she commented, she said, how are you gonna go for a date with that on? Eventually he's gonna find out that it's all fake, right? And I was like, wait a minute, why are you thinking that I'm doing this for male attention or for a man? Like, is it not comprehensible for you that I am doing it for myself, right? So when I started creating more content on that, when I started learning a lot about myself through the business, I just realized, you know what, doesn't matter what the number of orders I get today, but the business has to stick. I have to keep going on. Because the number of messages I get from women who say that the hair products have helped them out, the number of messages I get about women who have hair loss and their in-laws or their family members are shaming them, and they're downright trigger warning, downright to depression, suicide. And I'm like, Hita, it's okay if you don't have 1 million followers or even 10,000 followers. It's the fact that you could touch at least one or two people's lives out there apart from yours. So that's what NYW Hair is about. It's not about vanity. It's not about here you go. Because our competitors are doing a good job about it, and I have absolute respect for the ladies who are doing this. They're doing a great job about it, but none of them are really talking from a point of their POV is very get beautiful hair, look gorgeous, look like those actresses, look like those models. But at the end of the day, it's just about comfort. You feel good, you feel loved, a little bit of self-respect. So that's the kind of messaging that I want to give out from my brand. And so it had to stick. NYW Hair had to stick.
That's beautiful. So what are the different kinds of products that you all sell?
All kinds for all reasons. It's not just women with hair loss, women who want length, women who want volume, women who want different style. Like we have wefty, we have bangs, so everything, and we even have magnetic eyelashes. So it's a little bit of everything for everyone. And we even do make custom made wigs for cancer patients for literally nothing. Very, very affordable cancer wigs. Wigs for cancer patients, and it comes from hair donated by people, and that's something that I'm getting to in the future.
That's awesome. So if I may ask, like, what is one of your most best performing or best selling products on the website? Actually, I've been intrigued to try the magnetic eyelashes myself because I barely have any. So I'm like, okay, maybe I could try them. So yeah, what's the
They're
most
very cool. The bangs definitely, because let me tell you something. Cutting your own bangs, sometimes it's a success, but almost always it's a disaster. So bangs are a super hit. We have two types. We have something called as wispy and the normal clip-on bangs. So they vary with density. So that's very popular. And the silk topper. That's what I'm wearing right now. It gives you like a skin-like parting. It's very realistic. You can't even call bluff there.
I know. I mean, I couldn't even tell that you're wearing anything today, but yeah, it looks super natural. All right. So what are some of the misconceptions about hair extensions that you wish people did not have?
There is this shame that comes with the word wig. Okay. They'll say, "Yeah, she's wearing a wig. Oh, she's wearing a wig, 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 wig." But you need to know something. The actresses on the screen, you see and so adore and want to be like, they all wear hair extensions. And you won't believe the kind of products out there in the market. Stuff that is stuck to your scalp, you can't even see. Like, it's so real, right? You can swish your hair, you can go swimming. There's something called as there's research also on it, right? It's a huge market. And second of all, another misconception is it will cause hair loss if you wear. Like if you clip this onto your original bio hair, your bio hair will start falling. That's not true at all. Because you cannot sleep with these hair extensions. They're basically clips. Will you sleep with your Tic Tac clips and your Slade and all? No, it'll poke. No, that's the same logic, right? So that's another misconception. Another misconception is hair extensions look fake. Yes, they will look fake if you buy it from a dodgy brand or if you buy synthetic one, right? But we use 100% human hair, Indian human hair. So there's literally no question of whether it looks real or not. And the last one is that you can't go about your daily activities or different hairstyles like tying a ponytail or going swimming and stuff like that. There's always a way around it with hair extensions. And I'm slowly trying to educate people about hair extensions and removing the taboo of hair extensions.
All right. So what are some of the biggest challenges you've faced being an entrepreneur?
Wow. Let's just begin with waking up every day and wanting to keep a happy face for your followers, you know. But I don't really do that. Like, sure, I want to let everyone know that I feel confident every day. But honestly speaking, up until 1 hour ago, I was hating myself. I absolutely hated myself. I'm like, why didn't I look like the social media is filled with toxic positivity, man. Let's just address this. It's filled with toxic positivity. It's filled with, I feel like social media is filled with a textbook definition of what beautiful should be. That's slim, beautiful hair, fair. You know, it's filled with that kind of image that when you keep scrolling, and people that you know are also sharing videos like this, and you think, do they think that's the only kind of beauty that's out there? Do they think that, and to address the fact of toxic positivity, which is influencers out there letting people know that, um, uh, you know, uh, love yourself for the way you are. You're perfect just the way you are. That's that's bull. That's absolute bull. Like, you can't force me to be positive all the time. That's a lot of pressure on me. And second of all, if I want to change something, so example, if I want to lose 10 kilos, is it because I hate myself? You know, you're telling me to love myself for the way I am. But if I want to get a different haircut or if I want to cover up my acne with makeup, um, are you saying I don't love myself enough? Or do I love myself enough to want to change something about me, you know? So this toxic positivity is absolute bull on social media. And the saddest part is people who promote this have a higher number of followers, and that's what's been listening to maximum. So like people like us who are telling something that really matters, something that, you know, holds true to the society is slowly reaching, definitely slowly reaching. But one of the biggest struggles is fighting the mass mentality out there with your messaging.
Absolutely. I cannot even start on toxic positivity because that's another topic altogether. And we've seen a lot of that during COVID. But yeah, anyhow. So, how has the response been to NYW Hair? And what has been the most satisfying moment in business so far?
It's been very fulfilling. I'm just, like I said, I am no Forbes 30 under 30 or entrepreneurial and all, nothing like that. It's the most full, like, I don't even need to get those labels and stuff like that. Why? Because every day I meet different kind of women with different kind of stories. And the most fulfilling is when a client, you know, gets one of the products, they put it on and they're like, oh my God, my husband said, you know, that he loved it, or my mother loved it, or my children loved it. Oh, it is so fulfilling that I matter, and not just, and I'm not going to lie, man. Um, it's also a selfish reason as to why I started it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say I'm being selfless, this is for the society, this is no way. I'm just gonna be very honest. I'm absolutely selfish here when I say that I feel extremely happy doing this. I feel like more than like it's like a journey of you know losing words here, but basically when I see them happy, I'm happy too, and I'm glad that I did it, you know. And same goes for when a client is upset about a product too. I take it very personally because it was not about the product that's the issue, but I didn't deliver what I promised, right? So sorry, please repeat your question again. I just keep getting sidetracked.
How has the response been to NYW and the most satisfying moment in
So
between?
yeah, so the response has been great. Response has been amazing. It's been a very positive response. There are a few negative responses here and there, but I think my followers take care of them by commenting and or giving them a peace of mind. But on an average, it's been great, man. Like on an average, I think a 9 out of 10 responses are just positive. Okay, and like I said, it's been very fulfilling. Hearing stories, it's not just about my story anymore. It started off with my story, but now it goes to everybody else's story. And women matter, man. Women of all shapes, all races, all sizes, hair loss, no hair loss. Women matter, and so-called regular women with regular jobs who are not on social media are also winning in life. Just because, so it's I'm learning a lot, and I think I started loving myself more ever since I started this brand.
Absolutely. I can see the whole different perspective towards success and, feeling fulfilled.
Yeah, like define what success is for you. It's not the numbers, it's not the number of zeros in your bank account before or after a digit, but it's all about define your own success. And for me, it is to change at least 2 or 3 women's lives and the way they look at themselves in a week, at least in a week. That's a number. You have to give yourself set goals, right? So for me, it's that. That's what success is, and I'm highly successful.
Absolutely. I hope this message reaches out to anybody and everybody, to children, to women, everyone out there. It's really important for, at least peace of mind. I know a lot of people who struggle with that. So, all right. So, are there any new products or projects in place for NYW Hair that we all should be excited about?
Yes, and I'm super excited about that as well. I want to back to what I said, which is affordable wigs for cancer patients. All right. So my dream is to run a drive, or well, I don't want to spill out all this secret sauce, but that's what I want to do. I want to at least donate to at least 1,000 cancer patients. Donate, sorry, make custom made wigs affordable, trust me, extremely affordable. Hair extensions are expensive, and chemotherapy is even more expensive. So I just want to like take a burden off their chest and give them, the same thing, but for a better price and higher quality, definitely quality. They don't have to stick to the normal synthetic wigs for like $500 they can get on Amazon. It's horrible. Like synthetic wigs they last for barely a month. They tangle and they're horrible. My plan is to give them real human hair that will last them years together. So most cancer patients don't require it. Once their chemo is done, hair starts to grow back. So which is why they're not looking for a huge investment. So that's the dream. Dream is to donate affordable wigs to cancer patients.
That's super cool. Um, I know you are an inspiration for a lot of women, at least whoever gets to know you and know your story. So, who inspires you the most? Do you have a person that you look up to?
Well, I did. Well, that's a very, very, very specific question where I don't have a specific answer to because I'm an absorber. All right, I absorb what's around me. So if I'm around people who are negative and always talking in a particular way, I tend to absorb that. So what inspires me is the life I've been through. Sure, people out there might have suffered more than me, but um, the narrative here is what I went through, right? For me, the narrative is what I went through, and what I went through, nobody should go through. all right, as a 19-year-old, when you are supposed to travel with your friends and have fun and focus on your education, I had hospital visits coming to class with an IV line, friends teasing me about my hair loss and stuff like that. So, what inspires me is the fact that I had the right number of people. I had the right people around me. My family was great. My loving family, touch wood. My friends, a few handful of friends were great. And it's just basically every day is a different scenario, and every day I have something to get inspired by. So what inspires me the most is literally anything and everything around me. Probably today the sky is beautiful, and I'm like, let me just make a few extra videos and help people out, right? And so that's what inspires me. Everything around me is what inspires me. I'm an absorber.
That's awesome. I mean, this conversation has been so real, raw, and you've been so honest, and everything you said just I at least hit me in the right places. And thank you so much for doing this. I think a lot of people have left messages here. I read a few. Someone saying hello, hi. Therefore, I am says you go, girl. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to share them with Hita.
Almost many people won't have questions because my story is very what do I say? It's very clear cut. It's easy to comprehend, and even when I did a couple of these corporate shows, nobody really had questions. They'd rather just say thank you for telling me your story, or thank you for sharing what you've been through. So I'm not saying anything new, right? I'm just saying what you already know. You already know this, probably just a reminder. Which also, by the way, I need to remind myself also every now and then. Like I said, just 2 hours ago, I had a mental breakdown. So it's perfectly normal. I think, like I said, extremely relatable. I have to be relatable, else there's no reason why I'm doing this. Because I
Absolutely.
tried, honestly, I've tried. Like, if you notice the content from when I started, oh my God, a year ago, July 2020 is when I started. You'll see I was starting to mimic all the influencers I followed. And then I realized it's not working out for me because it's too much hard work. I will not wake up every day and put makeup on. Like, I cannot do that, right? So my content also changed. So eventually, finally is when I reached this point where, if your content is not relatable and if it's not really you, it's not going to stick. It's not sustainable. Nothing's sustainable if it's not going to be just a little bit of you. So
Absolutely. So thank you so much for being the most authentic version of yourself. I think it'll inspire many women to be the same. And yeah, and like you said, it's important. I mean, of course, people know your story, but it's important to remind them. It's important to spread that awareness to just talk about it more so that we don't take anything for granted, right? And once again, Hita, thank you so much for doing this with us. I'm super inspired. I've been inspired since I've known your story, and um, I wish you all the best for everything that you set out to do in the future.
thank you so much, and kudos to you for starting this. Is it a business? Is it a business? What is it? It's a
Yes,
page?
it is. It's a platform for women wherein it's a safe space for women basically where they can come share their story, share their content, be it in the form of articles or blogs. We have a forum, we have an inner circle question wherein people can ask questions and learn from their peers. And also we try to bring people like you on board and speak about your story so that everyone is inspired and does something meaningful in their life. And yeah, essentially that's what we do.
That's
um,
lovely. Thank you so much for giving women a voice a voice, a platform to speak. So always women
I
supporting women, women in business, it's always required. It's very important. I think it's time that more women come into this, more women start, talking about what they want, monetizing. Please monetize. You need money to, live in this world. So kudos to you, man. Like, good job there. Definitely going to take part in all the other events that you're gonna conduct.
Definitely, definitely. We would love to have you over for everything. So thank you so much again. Thank you so much for taking out your time, and I wish you a very happy weekend. And thank you
Thank
everyone for
you.
joining in.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
I'll see you.